You'll probably notice that I'm wearing a KU t-shirt today. Uh, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the pleasure that sports can bring to life. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily just sports you watch, although at my age, that's mostly what I do now is watch them. And I've mentioned before, I'm a football fan, I'm a rodeo fan. While I'm not the world's biggest basketball fan, I do on occasion enjoy a KU game. But I'm absolutely borderline fanatic about my local high school team. But then I taught some of those kids too. But and no, they're not league champions or state champions or anything big like that. But they're out there giving it everything they got. And if I don't support kids that are putting that kind of effort in, there's something wrong with me. Okay, so, and again, I'm not the big baseball fan either. Now, I can enjoy a Royals game if I'm in Kauffman Stadium. I can kind of enjoy a Royals game on TV at times, but I couldn't watch every game of the season, drive me nuts. But here again, our local high school baseball team and our little league teams. Well, I can be there. If my health, my breathing allows me, I can be there. And I can enjoy myself. And I don't even have to have a hot dog, and they don't serve beer anyway, but then I don't drink beer anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I can have a ball because here again, it's my kids. Not my kids as in I'm their father, but my kids as in kids that I care about. But you can find sports that you enjoy just because you enjoy them. I enjoy rodeo because I enjoy rodeo. I enjoy football because I enjoy football. With sports generally come traditions. Our high school team, every time they score, not in basketball obviously because they score too often, but in football, every time they score a touchdown, it's time to sing the school fight song. And they do. When I was in college, University of Montana, I never went to the basketball games, so I couldn't tell you for sure about those, but I did go to a lot of football games, and at the football games, a very common thing was for one side of the stadium to yell Montana and the other side to yell Grizzlies back and forth. And it was also every time they scored, ROTC fired their cannon. For a while, there was every time they scored, then the mascot, Monty the Bear, had to do the number of push-ups that they had, a push-up for every point they'd scored so far in the game. That ended, I think it was with a game against Weber State, and we beat them like 81-0. And poor Monty trying to do 81 push-ups in that mascot costume must have about half killed him, and it was a warm day to boot. And those mascot costumes are not cool. So I think they did away with that then. Some of the ROTC guys started doing push-ups though instead. So they didn't do away with the tradition completely. A long time tradition, and this is one of the things that I do enjoy about KU basketball. Like I said, I'm not a big basketball fan, but if I can go to Lawrence, sit in Fog Allen Fieldhouse, and take in the game live, I become a huge KU fan. And I can even become kind of a loud one at times. Not because I love basketball so much, but because of one tradition. And this is a tradition that literally, I think, shakes the rafters of Allen Fieldhouse. This is a tradition that goes back so far. I think James Naismith was still at KU. And if you don't know who that is, he's the guy that invented basketball. I think he was still at KU when this started. But around Lawrence, there are these hills that are referred to as rock chalk. They're kind of a white sandstone or something of that nature. And somebody coined the term rock chalk for them, as mentioned, and this started the chant. Rock Chalk Jayhawk Go KU. Only this doesn't start out there. It builds to it. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. Then into Rock Chalk Jayhawk Go KU. Great tradition, and it's been around for well over a century. And it's just, it adds such an excitement to the game. Even a game that I'm not a big fan of. Even a game where, and I prefer most games to be fairly close now. I don't mind seeing my local high school football team able to quit at halftime or a little after because they're 45 points ahead and the mercy rule kicks in. But that's football. But most of the time I like to see games be fairly close, especially basketball. That keeps a little more excitement in it. But the Rock Chalk chant can add so much excitement that KU could be trouncing somebody 100-0. And it'd still be an exciting game. These traditions, that's what I really wanted to get to. When you become a fan of a sports team, learn their traditions. I've mentioned before, I was a Chiefs fan before there were Chiefs. They started out as the Dallas Texans in the old AFL. And I was 4 years old. I saw a game on TV between the Dallas Texans and I believe it was the Houston Oilers. My dad was watching it. I sat down at his feet as I often did and watched it with him. And this was exciting. It wasn't like the NFL. The NFL was still a run first, very rarely threw the ball, very few big gains, fairly low scores. And the AFL threw the ball a lot. Cotton Davidson was still the Texans quarterback at the time. He had come out of SMU. And they threw the ball a lot. They had a lot of big games. They had a lot of scoring. It was great. I loved it. and even though later I became more of a defensive fan, and always have been because I loved playing defense when I was in high school. But the Chiefs also developed their traditions. One of their traditions being the tomahawk chop. And this is not like the tomahawk chop you see in the WWE where they're half trying to kill somebody apparently, except they're not really. But but this is the tomahawk chop, you know. It's just kind of a we support our team thing, you know. And wearing red to the games. Very much a Chiefs tradition. And we're talking nice bright red. And that is a Chiefs t-shirt, by the way. So, but if you're going to be a fan of a team, learn their traditions, get into their traditions, enjoy their traditions. It's going to make the game so much more fun. And what's this channel about? Shut up and live. Have some fun.